long. Okay, guys, I'm going to open the meeting and call the roll, determine the quorum, and for the time being, for a few minutes until we elect chairman, I'll be the moderator. This is the March 15th planning and zoning board meeting. Go around the room, if you will, and indicate your name, that you're here.
Josh Presley.
Mike Midland.
Fred Rogers.
Greg Morgan.
Chrissy Black.
Doug Buchanan.
Thank you very much. We do have a quorum. First on the agenda today, I would like to introduce our new alternate. He's alternate. Alternate member, Fred Rogers. Fred has been a long time
Hey, good to meet
member
everybody.
of this community. He lives in Country Hills. I think he will add a great deal to the committee. And of course, when members are not here, he becomes a member. So that's the reason I encourage he and Bill both, I'll get to that in a minute, him to come to all the meetings because he doesn't know when he's going to be a voting member. Leads me to two other things. Bill Thomas has requested to resign, so he's the other alternate. So that leaves an opening that we will fill in the future. And also, all of you know that Nancy Randall decided to resign effective March 1st. I hope it's not something we did. She says it's not, but who knows? She's going to do other things. First item on the agenda, I want to add an amendment that I want you to look at, and that's amendment text number 22005, and that's at your place. So when we get to that, that'll be number E. We'll do the rest of it first, but we'll get to that in a minute. First of all, I'd like to put down, and we need to elect a chairperson. Nancy, she didn't do one thing. She taught me it was the chair. Not a chairperson, not a chairwoman, not a chairman, but chair. So whatever the chair wants to call him or herself, fine. I would like for you all to consider who you would like to see as chairman of your group. And if you are so inclined to make that motion.
I'd like to make a motion for Mike Midland as chair. Can I decline that?
Respectfully, you can.
Respectfully, I'm on so many more committees, and already one chair.
What about the young lady over there?
I'd like to make another nomination for Doug as chair.
Second.
That's second that, third that.
We have a nomination of Doug Buchanan to be our chair of the Planning and Zoning Board. Any questions? See a raising of the right hand if you agree. Thank you. And if you want to take over, elect the vice chair, Mr. Chairman, you certainly can, or I can do that and just go on into the
You're on the road, go.
elect the vice chair. Same procedure. Like to hear a motion to nominate the vice chair who would take the place of the chair if he was absent.
Great.
I'm like Mike, I'm on respectfully, so I appreciate that. But personally, I don't think I benefit the members of the community as well as some of the others, so.
Like to nominate Christie then.
Okay, nominations, Christy Black. Second,
I'll second
Josh. Questions, concerns? Raise hands by seeing none, she is seeing no votes, she is the new vice chairman.
Appreciate
it. Just slide the goat on there.
Yeah.
I will respectfully do that.
I thought it was a sheep.
It is, might be, you know what, it does look more
I
like
didn't
a
know what
sheep.
that
It's
was.
whatever. That's what happened.
First item that we need to discuss is the comprehensive plan. It was a little bit confusing on the agenda, but let me explain to you. You have the comprehensive plan in your in your booklet, it is page number 4. So we go to page 5 in your booklet, under housing, goals, and objectives. At one time, well, that's the new one, but at one time, that's what it looks like. But under objectives, this was if you look back on your agenda, this was what was on or is now on the comprehensive plan. Several years ago, as you remember, we had a request from a developer that wanted us to put the possibility, just to think about it, if we would, that any development in the county on the other side of Mill Road Road might be considered an annex to the town if everything was right with the stars aligned and all this stuff. At that point, we didn't think it would hurt anything to do that because that's the area between Mill Road and 485. And if we did have higher density, it would probably be there. Again, that property would have to be annexed. After thinking about what we've been through the last year, we probably want to take that out of the ordinance or the comprehensive plan. It's not in the ordinance, it's in the comprehensive plan. So if you look at your agenda, that in red says housing demand of more than one is more likely on the western side of Fairview due to the proximity of 485 and the Charlotte metro area. Higher density housing would be considered in this area, but only with proper conditions, adequate water, adequate sewer, open spaces, and recreational activities, and transportation infrastructure. So it was very wide open. If you met all those, it was just, if we wanted to do it. We want to take that paragraph out of the comprehensive.
Yeah, I support that.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody understand what, Fred, to just educate you a little bit, and everybody else, the comprehensive plan is a plan that the town has come up with, that you can read, that explains what we are, or what we're about, or what we think is important. Okay? If you haven't read it, read it, because it's interesting. But that said, that this on page 5 is then what it will look like after we remove it. Now, with your recommendation, I will take this to the council and have them officially removed. I need a vote to remove that paragraph in red from the comprehensive plan.
Make a motion, remove.
Greg makes a motion to remove it.
Second.
Second, Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is item B. It is TC 22-16. This is a change in the ordinance for the 160B statute that was passed 20 years ago. Page 32, if you'll look on page 32, I've got it marked. Go page 8.
I was fixing to say,
I'm like,
I didn't even print 32.
Yeah.
32 is here. And you can see constructed after July 1st, 1976. This has to do with mobile homes. And in our ordinance, it states that if your mobile home is July 1st, 1976, it is not HUD approved. Therefore, it's a manufactured home class A, and do we approve class A? I don't think we approve class A if it's pre-1976.
I don't think so.
A manufactured home constructed after July 1st, 1976, and meets the standard of construction standards from HUD. That's what we're looking at. If it is constructed after let me get it. The definition page needs to be changed to remove constructed after July 1976 in two places. That's number class A and number class C. And then manufactured home class E is supposed to be eliminated also.
The General Assembly.
And I don't know why they changed that for some reason, but the attorney caught it, and she said to have that removed.
Is that a,
That's the General Assembly.
oh.
Yeah, it's actually the next page.
Yeah.
On mine, it's an email
I saw that.
citing the reference.
I saw that from another town,
Mhm.
and that's the law. Then I sent a note to our attorney, said, should we remove that also?
So we're, by eliminating the E, manufactured home E, we are in alignment with general statute.
Right.
And what that means is a local government may not adopt or enforce zoning regulations or any other provisions that have the effect of excluding manufactured homes from the entire zoning ordinance, or that exclude manufactured homes based on the age of the homes.
Mm.
Okay, so if it indicates how old your manufactured home is, going back to planning, we towns have historically not preferred in the Piedmont, not preferred to approve manufactured housing, especially in this area.
Hmm.
And the eastern part of the state, it's affordable housing. But for some reason around here, they just, people don't like mobile homes for some reason. So towns tend to try to regulate them so they don't appear in your taxes. We can't exclude them, but we can regulate.
Gotcha.
So if somebody comes to me and says, I want to put a single wide mobile home, there's instructions in the notice, so well, we can go through the process with you. You have to go through the planning board and the council, depending on the pitch of the roof and the length of the mobile home. So that's where we regulate it. A manufactured home that is a double wide, 1,200 square feet or over, is treated like a regular home.
So I got a question. It's a little stupid left field question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
I don't think we do.
Not so long ago, we approved the tiny house, or the tiny houses I'm aware of, or that I've seen, are built on a trailer axle, right? And so what I've seen done up in the mountains is that they've taken some of these single wide older mobile homes and used the chassis basically, or the frame, to build a tiny house on it. Does that affect that at all? Okay. I told you it's gonna be a left field question.
Well, it still has to meet the building code, but does not necessarily have to meet HUD.
Got you. Well, thank y'all for clarifying.
It's just the inspection process that housing has to go through, either manufactured homes, what's the other home?
Modular.
Modular homes
Mhm.
has its own regulations, as in the state building code has its own regulations. So it has to come under one of those.
I got you.
And that's the reason here in the county, we don't either, because they're not built to the North Carolina building code, we don't allow.
Got you.
Now, can you have a small home?
Mhm.
Certainly. If you have a neighbor, you know,
Got you.
but a small home is different from what we call a tiny house.
Got you.
So would that suffice? I know you can't build, well, the county, you can't build, a garage with anticipation of later building a home. It has to be done at the same time, because I think that in that aspect, they assume that you're gonna put some sort of business or something there. in a residential area as opposed to a housing development. Does this fall under the same line? So if you were to put, instead of a garage, if you were to put, a single wide trailer on here and then operate, I'm going off in left field also?
No,
Probably,
Good
but,
question. They don't use, and I don't know what you call it, a trailer is an old term for a trailer. We use now manufactured homes and it brings them up a little bit. You can't use a manufactured home for anything other than living.
okay,
Okay, so you can't use it for storage, you can't
okay,
take it apart and rebuild it.
got it,
Our orders won't allow that.
okay,
So that you can't do.
okay,
Brought up a good question though, and it depends on the situation, how people now do. They'll call me and say, I want to build a home. I said, great, glad to have you. But I want to put my travel trailer up there and live out of it until I build a home, which our country, sites are usually bigger, out in the open, and people are afraid of that. That should be. It depends on whether I'll okay that or not. It cannot be hooked up to an old home sewer that they want to remodel this old home, and it's got sewer, so they'll just tap into it. So they can't do that. So if they dump their trailer, a lot of it's RVs now, they'll park their RVs.
Right.
And I'll say, as long as you go somewhere and dump your sewage somewhere else,
right,
all right, but don't, then you move it or keep it with your residence.
right,
You can do that. This is like an office trailer if you're building a building, the contractor will give you an office trailer.
right, right. I know my neighbors in Mineral Springs, which is a small town similar to this where I used to live, they had lived in an RV while they were building their house,
I'm sorry.
Okay. all right.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you sell your house, then you gotta get a construction loan.
Takes a long time these days.
But I got a question.
If you're talking about manufactured homes, you can say manufactured home, so-and-so meets or exceeds, but you just cannot use that year. You can't make a decision on how old the trailer.
I got you. No, I'm in agreement.
Into it.
I'm in agreement.
But if you say the ordinance, Fairview says you can't build on anything less than an acre, what's the grandfather clause? Like, we got, if you got,
If a development, and there's only a couple, Country Hills is one, Tallwood is another one. If there's a lot in Tallwood that's under an acre, there's not, but let's assume there is. And it was approved by the county in 1990. I respect however it was approved. Okay. So however it was approved, if it had conditions on it or requirements of lot sizes or whatever, I take those requirements, and then if there's any of hours that can be applied, we apply hours. So if it was, that's what we call grandfathered or approved before 2005. That's when our ordinance took effect. So if it's pre-2005, the county approved it. Now, let's say the county, you had an operation going on in 2004. Let's say you built a house. Well, let's see. You built a house in 2007. You didn't even know where Fairview was, or you didn't keep up with things, or you just, built. You should have gotten a zoning permit from Fairview at that time. So after 2005, we issued the zoning permits. If you had a business and the county lets you run that business out of your home, there are some, then if it was approved by the county, it's grandfathered. If it wasn't approved by the county to start with, it's still illegal under us.
Or if it goes somewhere else for a certain period of time and tries to come back.
If it goes out of business for 180 days, then it reverts back to.
Yeah, so they can't move it to another location to bring it back.
but see, I live in Country Hills and their covenants say that it's all parcels and all lands. I mean, then I guess these things that are recorded are not any good then. Because there's lots in there.
It was approved by the county.
Right, this was recorded and approved by the county, the restrictions. Oh,
Talking
oh,
about subdivision, Country Hills first phase,
right.
what Country Hills was gonna be at that point. It was approved by the county. So whatever they approved,
We honor.
we honor.
What's the county's, I mean, what's their,
They were the zoning jurisdiction at that time.
Fairview.
Yeah.
Fairview.
oh, okay, so it goes back to the, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of, I've seen over the years, I've seen a lot of situations that came up that came before town council.
Mhm.
And that's the very first question that got brought up. Well, when was this,
Done.
you know, established? Is it prior to the town?
If I get a complaint on his running his business out of his home.
Yep.
Okay, let me check the county and see how long has he been running the business?
Right.
If it's past 2005, then it's our ordinance.
And we should. I mean, I think we should.
I checked with the county, I've got a copy of the county ordinance pre-2005.
Yep.
So I go back and check, was it legal then? It wasn't, still illegal.
Right, yeah.
Fred brought up a good point. Some neighborhoods, very few, I guess, some of Doug Helms had, not Doug, but Drew Helms, small
covenants,
subdivisions have covenants. I'm not real sure, Tallwood has any. You know whether they have any covenants? They don't have a homeowners association.
I think they do.
Deed restrictions.
I'm sure they do.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like Nancy spoke about that
Yes.
in one of the previous
She did.
meetings that she,
So there's two areas that have covenants. A covenant is a deed restriction. In other words, a developer says, he says, I want my subdivision to abide by these laws. Now, they're usually stricter than the town's laws.
Mhm.
What if, and I have to be careful about, if I know the covenants don't permit it, does the town permit it? Because it can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're kind of in a, it's, know your place kind of.
Right. So I try to work that out, massage that area, so the two line up the best way we can. Okay, I need a motion on number B, text number 22016.
Okay, I make the motion that we remove the text that indicates the July 1st, 1976, and remove manufactured home class E from the ordinance.
Second that.
Okay,
All in favor? All in favor? Number 3. This is one on your desk. Oh, it looks like, this.
Okay.
Not the color, you know.
Yeah.
Like this,
Oh,
the attorney, I wasn't know we had a new attorney.
yes.
So she'll be
She's
listening
part of the
to
West too.
or
good.
something.
Is she gonna come and introduce herself?
I thought she did, didn't she?
Did I miss that?
To the-
Oh, okay.
If we need that for some reason, let's say we have issues,
Sure,
then I want her to come, sure.
sure.
She has been coming to the council meetings, and, but it's expensive to have an attorney sit when not needed.
Sure. Yep.
Anyway, she found this in the ordinance, overlooking one of the issues we had. In section 113, procedures under discovery of violations. So it says, if an administrator finds that any provision of this ordinance is being violated, he shall send a written notice to the person responsible for such violation, either by personal delivery, electronic delivery, or first class mail. So they might want to make it very, very clear that I have those options, indicating the nature of the violation and ordering the action necessary to correct it. That's what I do. Number D, the person providing the notice of violation shall certify to the local government that the notice was provided, and the certificate shall be deemed conclusive in an absence of fraud. What this means is, if the council asks me, did you give him notice of a violation? And I say, yes, I did, and here's how I did it. That eliminates any fraud that people may come up with that I did something wrong.
But yeah, instance when you contact the Union County about a problem,
No, because he comes under the same rules I come under as far as, this has to do with how I deliver a message to you,
okay,
how I deliver a code enforcement. That's all. And it opens the door to two things, I can deliver it by handing it to you, or mailing it to you, or emailing it to you.
Most of the time it wouldn't be email. You wouldn't have access to the.
Yeah,
But I think-
we always do letters.
I think that's nice because it gives you the ability to walk up and hand somebody something. You at least know the person.
Official. And if the council asks me to certify that, that's how I certify.
Mm.
One of the council members asked me one time, or did you meet with him? Really don't. Normally I do, everybody, I call, I send a letter out, they respond. We talk about it. Some are very nice about it, some are very rude about it, but we talk about it. If we need to send another letter, we send another letter, and another letter, and I need to record. So what I'd like for you to do is change section 133 to read like the following. You've got it,
113.
113, I'm sorry. Section 113 of our ordinance. A and D to read like the following.
I'd like to edit, right here where it says he shall send a written notice to he, she. Cause I don't think you're gonna live forever. And it could be
No.
female.
I think he, Doug, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he in an ordinance represents he or she.
Okay, fair enough.
It really goes back with the legal jargon and stuff. They always use the masculine tense.
But it includes
I'm sure that's-
she.
Okay, fair enough. Other than that, I'm good.
Motion to include that, or make those changes to section 113.
I make a motion that we revise section 113 to read as the text that was presented.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much. Well, that's all I have, except an example of something I had. I'm gonna start bringing you examples of unusual things I do. Just to give you an insight of some of the different things that might happen. Here's a plat I had to sign. Here's the plat. Okay? Looks like a subdivision. And it is a subdivision. The thing unusual about this is, here's the Mecklenburg County line. Here is the
Oh, I know
Union
that.
County line.
Is this right at the end?
Mhm.
It is.
It looks like old Sycamore.
Yeah.
Well,
So now,
Yeah, right.
now what I do,
Looks like a lawyer's nightmare.
Almost
It
right there.
is. It is. But here's how we work those things. He came to me 2 years ago and said, here's what I want to do. I said, well, being that most of it is controlled by Mid-Hill, EDJ, get their approval first.
Yeah.
So they did. So they started going through and they got the approval. But it came to the closing and they said, well, now wait a minute. Who approves this part of lot one? Because it's in another county. So they came to me and said, yes, I'll approve this part of the subdivision because it's under our name.
Yeah.
We require the street from here to here to be
DOT
state,
standard.
state standard, so put that on the note. Something else I'll put on the notes too. Anyway, but that's an unusual one because it's approved by Mint Hill and handled by Mint Hill. But they couldn't do that until I signed up on it for our county.
Is that at Brief and Machado?
Close. Turn Road runs off Brief. Brief's down here. The Machado's right here.
It is, isn't it?
That's what I thought. It's a nice area, but it's just right on the corner.
Windsor Green. You live in Windsor Green.
The county line makes on that road and also Black Road. You know where the
Yeah.
scout things, the big scout camp,
I was hoping this would be one.
part of that's the
That's
area.
where I was at.
You know, the wastewater actually goes through to Tallwood for the scout kit.
Seems like I knew that.
Yeah, they've got.
That's the only thing.
That's it. It's
Don't
on
let anybody else do it.
No, just the scouts, you know, when they have a VFL, they have a pump station out there.
Hallwood is on sewer, public sewer. It's got a plan.
Yeah, it's got it.
But on the other side of Hallwood, there was a Boy Scout camp. They let them tile on it. But they don't want anybody else tile. No more houses on it.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm gonna turn it over to your new chairman. Say a few words if he wants to, and then adjourn us.
We got to do the minutes.
Oh, minutes.
Yeah, it's the next.
I might as well say that. Anybody have any questions on the minutes? Yes, I hear a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you for coming. We did,
Let's vote on that.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. All in favor, aye? We
Just
are
checking.
working on maybe a joint meeting, that is updated on this, we formed, or we renamed a board of adjustment. Most of you don't know what a board of adjustment is, but we have one, or had one, and we still have one. Part of this group is on the new board of adjustment list, and that's Chrissy and Doug
And Johnny.
and Josh. So 3 of those are on the planning board and board of adjustment also. So that's a little bit unique, I think. We're thinking about having maybe a little reception if we don't have anything to do at the next meeting and just have some cookies and milk or something like that. Make sure everybody knows everybody. And
I'm not going to the barricade.
Well, I'm just not gonna say anything like that. That'd be nice.
a little bit of training about what the board of adjustment does. Y'all need to know that also.
It's an interesting group.
So, over to Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you for electing me. And I tried to make sure I be quiet sometimes and become very opinionated, but I am interested in your opinion. I want to hear from you. So don't ever hold back. My best advice. And with that, I like to be short and stuff. And do I have a recommendation, a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Greg makes a motion, Christie seconds. All in favor, say aye, and proceed to leave. Good meeting.
Oh, I got the same.